everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about Kingdom of the Wicked. It's the first book in a new series by Kerri Maniscalco. And I got this off of NetGalley.
So I asked for it on NetGalley, and then they didn't approve it. So then I downloaded it off of Edelweiss, and then they did approve me from NetGalley. So
you got it from both places.
I did, and I'm auto approved now by Jimmy Patterson at both places. So yay!
Yay! Okay. This is a book about twin witches, Amelia and Victoria, and they're not the same. Like, Amelia's a little bit more follows the rules, and Victoria's the rebel child.
She's a free spirit.
A free spirit, that's a good way to put it. Anyway, so Amelia, hanging with the family business, but Victoria starts kind of disappearing, and Amelia believes that it's probably because she's, like, seeing a new guy. But what ends up happening is Victoria ends up being murdered and having her heart, like, taken from her. And Amelia has decided that she's going to avenge her sister's death. I mean, like you would do with your twin sister. And so she goes down this path to figure out, A, what was Victoria doing before she died, and B, who killed her. So along the way, Amelia is finding all of these kind of dark magic pieces and parts and clues, and she ends up summoning a demon, Wrath, who is a prince. And so the princes that are aligned with the devil, who is the grand poobah of evilness, they feel very much like vampires, almost. Like, that's kind of.
But there are vampires too.
There's a little bit a learning curve on, like, the setting and the world building. But anyway, she summons Wrath, and one of his brothers is trying to end a curse by marrying a witch. But somehow along the way, there are a lot of witch teen girls ending up dead with their hearts cut out. So the two, Wrath and Amelia, kind of make almost a deal together to figure out what's going on. And of course, along the way, Amelia starts to have potential feelings for Wrath, but, like, he is like her antithesis, and she kind of rejects it all. But there's still, like, a little bit of a pop between the two. And so it's really just kind of avenging Victoria's death and figuring out who's killing all of these girls and trying to keep the devil and hell where it belongs, as opposed to allowing the gates of hell to open and the apocalypse to come, like happens in these books.
So no, because this was, like, one of my most anticipated books of the year, and it's good. It's well written. It's well. There's parts of it that are very well crafted. I didn't love it.
See, but I think if you go into it like anticipating it, like, then I think you put on all of these expectations for it. See, is where I've never read anything by her before, and I could have gone either way, and I enjoyed it a little bit more than you because I wasn't expecting anything from it.
Well, and, like, so some of the stuff, to me, like, as you were describing it, it feels like a pilot of a TV show that was left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, yes. This is all exposition. But I think it's got some serious potential for the future, I think.
Well, and I was thinking about it, and I don't think I fell in love with her last series until the second book. I feel like this book, like, I was confused at times. I even texted Sarah. I'm like, I don't understand when it's set. Is it set modern day? Is it set? Because the clothing that they're using, and they don't really have, like, modern conveniences, but the way they speak is modern.
Yeah, I agree. Like, at first I was saying, like, the setting is what needed a little bit more development, because it definitely was jarring, because you don't really know when it's set, and, like, But I think what it really speaks more to is the world building. I don't think the world building was there because they're speaking contemporary. So, like, what kind of technology do they have? Do they have any kind of technology? And also, kind of more about like the monsters and what rules guide the monsters.
Right.
Those aren't as developed. And so, I think at first I thought it was setting, but really, as we talk and as I was trying to describe like what this book is about, I realized that it's the world building that needed more development.
And I think Amelia has the potential to be a strong character. But I feel like we didn't really get to know Amelia. And like her relationship with Wrath, but obviously it's supposed to turn into some kind of romance at some future book, but like it didn't, like I didn't feel like there wasn't any like flirtiness.
Well, but I think that's because she's a unique character in that she's not jumping into making decisions like without thinking. She's spending a lot of time figuring out like, okay, you want to make this deal with me, but what does that mean for me? Like, what are the consequences? I think it stalls the story at some points, but it also is what makes it unique and
Well, and it makes her a strong female character, which is
right.
what the
And
other book series had too.
so I
Um,
appreciate it, but I appreciate it in one sense, and I think that it kind of hurts the novel in another sense. But I think that because she thinks about things so much and it does stall the story, that's why the romance between Wrath and her didn't seem as fiery and as action packed.
well, and I also kind of wonder. I kind of get the feeling that the other series she wrote, the first book, they probably didn't know it was going to be a series. She didn't write it as like I think she wrote it as a standalone. And so like this, I think like they were just doling out story. Like there's potential, and I'll keep reading. I just didn't love it, and I think
Right.
it might play better as an audio.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
So we should probably just
I
rate
know.
it.
We can rate it. So our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it doesn't get a horn and it is therefore a horse. So where are you?
I'm giving it a 3. Because I think it does have the potential, and it was interesting. Um, I had a hard time getting into it, and I'm trying not to base it on the fact that I loved her old book. I don't want to judge this one harsher because it's not about Audrey Rose Wadsworth.
See, I'm between a 3 and a 3.5, and since we don't give halves, I'm just gonna go with a 3. Because the story did stall at certain points, and it was long, and it felt long. Um,
Yeah, that was part of it too. Like I felt like I was on a treadmill, never getting anywhere.
it felt long. I mean, and I got through it, and I enjoyed it. But I felt those pages, and
Yeah.
I feel like if it's doing its job and it's doing its job well, I don't notice how long a book is because I'm so invested that I'm not even paying attention to that.
Right.
So I'm gonna stick with a 3 because yeah, I mean it really does have potential. It has potential as a series. I can see people really enjoying it. So 3, and
That
that's
is
what
where we
we are.
are on the Kingdom of the Wicked, and we'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye.